The moving finger writes, and having writ, moves on. Nor all thy piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all thy tears wash out a word of it.
Wow. That is heavy. Omar Khayyam. It really sets the stage, doesn't it?
It gives me chills every single time. It's just that feeling of absolute finality. You know, like the script is done, the ink's dry, and we're just actors walking through a play we had no part in writing.
It taps right into that ancient fear of fate, that we're just, I don't know, cogs in some cosmic machine.
Right. But then, and this is the part that gives you a whiplash, you wake up, you choose your coffee, you decide to be patient with someone or to snap at them, and in those moments, you feel completely free.
You feel like the author.
Exactly. And that's the battle, isn't it? Fate versus free will. Are we puppets or are we the ones pulling the strings?
Well, today we're diving into a book that claims to have the answer. It's The Mastery of Destiny by James Allen.
Published way back in 1909. And if you're thinking this is going to be some, dusty, mystical text, it's really not. Allen presents it more like a manual for the mind.
Yeah.
He's trying to show you the mechanics of how your life actually happens.
He really is. I mean, his goal is incredibly ambitious. He wants to reconcile these two ideas that have driven people mad for centuries. He says most of us just swing between them.
Oh, for sure.
One day you feel like a master of the universe. I got this promotion. And the next day your car breaks down and it's, why me? Why is the universe picking on me?
You take all the credit, but you outsource all the blame.
Exactly. So the mission for this deep dive is to find what Allen calls the golden mean. He believes there's a specific, almost scientific law that connects our freedom to choose with the destiny we actually get.
And I'm really excited for this because he promises to unpack that question that drives me crazy. Why do bad things happen to good people? And maybe more confusingly, why do some truly awful people seem to just sail through life?
He goes right at it, and his answer is, well, it's pretty uncompromising.
Okay, let's get into it then. This golden mean. How does he bridge fate and free will? Because, honestly, they feel like they can't both be true.
Allen starts by saying that truth isn't a partisan. It doesn't pick a side. It's a reconciler. And the bridge he uses is the law of causation.
Cause and effect.
Simple as that. But he applies it morally, and he defines the terms in a way that just makes it click. He says free will is the power to initiate causes.
Okay.
You are a free agent when it comes to your thoughts and your deeds.
So, to use one of his favorite analogies, the garden, I'm standing there with seeds in my hand. I can choose to plant corn or I can choose to plant poison ivy. That choice, that's my free will.
That is your moment of absolute power. But, and this is the crucial part, fate or destiny is just your involvement in the effects. Once you plant that seed, the result is inevitable.
I can't pray for the poison ivy to grow up as corn.
You cannot. No amount of regret or tears will change it. And that brings us right back to that moving finger quote. Once the cause is in motion, the effect is locked in. Allen has this great line. He says, every effect may be said to be a thing preordained, but the predetermining power is a cause and not the fiat of an arbitrary will.
So it is preordained, but I'm the one who ordained it.
Yes, you issued the order. You just forgot you did, because maybe the delivery took a while.
Wow. That's both empowering and kind of terrifying.
Well, it gets rid of the idea of a random universe just messing with you for fun. You are only predestined to the ends that you yourself secretly mandated.
I think where people get lost and where I get lost is the time lag,
That's exactly it. The fruit doesn't pop up the second you plant the seed, so we convince ourselves there's no connection. We plant the poison ivy, walk away, and a month later when it shows up, we call it bad luck.
But the roots are growing the whole time.
The whole time. Allen says there's no such thing as luck, just causes we've forgotten about.
He takes this idea even further with this really vivid metaphor. The cloth of life.
Yes, this is so important to understanding his view on responsibility. He says to picture life as this huge piece of cloth.
Okay.
And the threads making up the cloth, those are our individual lives. And here's the key. The threads are interdependent, we're all woven together, but they are never confused.
Meaning my thread doesn't just bleed into yours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And more importantly, the quality of your thread is 100% your responsibility. You can't blame the thread next to you if yours is shoddy and breaks easily.
And that shoddy material is our bad thoughts and deeds.
Precisely. You can't say, oh, my life is a mess because of my upbringing or the economy. You see, those things might affect the pattern of the cloth, but the strength of your personal thread, that's all you.
This is where the real tough love comes in. He quotes Rousseau, and it's kind of a gut punch. Man, seek no longer the origin of evil, Thou thyself art its origin.
It just yanks the victim card right out of your hand. But this is where he adds a fascinating psychological layer. He calls it instant justice.
This was the biggest whoa moment for me in the whole book.
Yeah.
Because we always think of cause and effect as separate events. You do something bad, then later you get punished.
Right, you're waiting for the external consequence.
Mm.
The lightning bolt, the jail cell.
But Alan says the consequence is simultaneous with the act itself.
It's immediate. He argues that the moment you think a cruel thought or do a cruel deed, your mind is injured. You have instantly made yourself a viler person. You've degraded your own character.
So the punishment isn't getting caught. The punishment is becoming the kind of person who does that thing.
Exactly. You've altered your own nature for the worse. And think about it. When you're seething with resentment or anger, do you feel good?
No, it feels awful. It's physically stressful.
That's the immediate penalty. And on the flip side, the second you do something genuinely good, that feeling of nobility and peace is the reward. You've instantly become a better person.
It really changes everything. It means you can't get away with anything. Even if no one else sees it, you did. And now you have to live inside the character you just created.
You're building your own prison or your own palace, moment by moment.
Okay, so if we accept this, that we're weaving our own destiny and we need to use better thread, the obvious next question is, how? How do we stop? Habits are incredibly powerful.
And that brings us to the most practical part of the book. He doesn't just leave you with the theory. He gives you a method he calls the science of self-control.
He's very specific about that word, science.
He is. He says this isn't about wishful thinking. It's a divine science that's as exact as chemistry. Just like a scientist has to master physical forces, we have to master our inner forces, passion, desire, will.
And he lays it out in 5 specific stages. It's a roadmap. I think this is where it gets really useful for anyone listening.
It's a clear progression. You can't really skip the step.
So stage 1 is introspection.
This is just stopping. Stepping out of the constant stream of impulse and reaction. Most of us just run on autopilot. Someone cuts you off, you get angry, you feel an urge, you act. Introspection is just the act of looking inside and seeing what's actually going on.
So instead of just laying on the horn in traffic, you pause and ask, wait, why am I so furious right now? What is this feeling?
Yes, you're observing the machine instead of just being the machine. And you start to notice things like, wow, I carry a lot of resentment around.
Which flows right into stage 2, self-analysis. How is that different?
Introspection is looking. Self-analysis is understanding what you're looking at. Alan says you put your mind through a rigid process of analysis. You start separating the weeds from the flowers.
You're categorizing your thoughts.
Exactly. You trace them. Okay, this thought of jealousy. It led to me feeling miserable for 2 hours. That's a weed. You stop telling yourself the anger was justified and start seeing it as a cause of suffering.
Okay, so I've labeled the weeds now for the hard part. Stage 3 is adjustment.
This is the active work, the weeding. It's the moment-to-moment discipline of catching a negative thought and deliberately replacing it with a better one.
And he's clear this is a battle. It's exhausting at first.
It's the hardest work there is. You catch yourself thinking something judgmental, and you force yourself to find something to appreciate instead. You might fail 99 times and succeed once, but you keep adjusting.
And if you keep at it, you get to stage 4, righteousness. That word can sound a little preachy.
He doesn't mean it in a holier-than-thou way. He means rightness. It's when the struggle starts to fade, because you're no longer just fighting bad habits. You're starting to act from a central principle of what's right. The good choice becomes the default.
You're not the whipped slave of habit anymore.
You're becoming the wise director,
Mm-hmm.
which leads to the final stage 5, pure knowledge.
This sounds like the destination.
It is. It's when the scientist has proven the law. You no longer believe that kindness is good. You know it works because you've lived it and tested it. You see the law of moral cause and effect operating everywhere with total clarity.
And if you follow this science, you change your character.
And by changing your character, you change your destiny. That's the whole thing in a nutshell.
Character is destiny.
The equation is that simple. Your deeds create your character. Your character creates your destiny. What happens to you is just a reflection of what is inside you.
It's like a mirror. You can't fix your reflection by polishing the glass. You have to change what's in front of it.
Perfect. And he says that relentless ghoul of fate that feels like it's chasing you. It's just your own past actions coming back for payment. You're running from yourself.
Okay, but I have to bring up the big objection. The one he knows everyone will ask. What about the good, honest man who fails miserably? And what about the corrupt person who seems to have everything?
The classic problem. If the law is perfect, why does reality look so messy?
Exactly. It makes the law look broken.
Allen's answer requires a much longer view. He says we're only seeing a tiny snapshot in time. We see the surface, not the hidden seeds.
The underground root system again.
Exactly. He would argue that the good man who's suffering might be harvesting an old crop. He might have hidden mental debts, seeds of pride or selfishness planted years ago that are just now bearing fruit.
So his good actions today are planting a better future, but he still has to get through the current bitter harvest.
Yes. Starting a diet today doesn't undo 20 years of bad eating overnight. The debt has to be paid.
And the unscrupulous man who's prospering.
He's living off a savings account of past good deeds, or as Allen puts it, laying up good accounts.
He might be acting terribly now, but he could be drawing down on a vast reserve of past good karma.
But that account is draining.
It's draining fast.
Yeah.
And when it hits zero,
The crash is coming.
inevitably, Allen is so firm on this, he says, nothing comes unbidden. Where the shadow is, the substance must be. There are no accidents in the moral universe. We just can't see all the data points. It really hammers home this idea of total accountability. You can't hide from yourself.
That's the trade-off. You get total power over your future in exchange for total responsibility for your present.
Thou thyself art its origin.
That's the price of admission.
So when you zoom out, the mastery of destiny is really a call to grow up.
It's a shift from a child's worldview to an adult's. A child cries for someone else to fix their problems. An adult realizes, okay, I made this mess. I have to be the one to clean it up.
And the tools for the cleanup are all in your own mind.
They're the only tools that will ever work.
Okay, so let's bring this home for everyone listening. We've gone through the golden mean, the clock of life, the science of self-control. It's a huge mental shift. If you're listening to this and feeling a bit overwhelmed, where's the first step?
I'd say you just go back to stage one. Introspection. Don't try to change your entire life today. Just for the rest of the day, watch your reactions. Just observe. The next time something irritates you, don't just react. Ask yourself, what seed might I have planted that led to this? Even if you don't know the answer, just asking the question changes you from a victim into a student.
From why is this happening to me to what is this trying to teach me?
That's the whole game.
Yeah.
And remember that moving finger. It's scary if you think someone else is holding the pen. But the big secret is, it's writing what you dictate.
We are the weavers.
We're the proposers, and through the law, the disposers.
I want to leave you with one final thought. We talked about that moving finger writing your life story. If you don't like the chapter being written right now, stop trying to erase the ink from the page. That's the effect. You can't change it.
You have to change the hand that holds the pen.
Exactly. Change the cause, change the character, because the ink is flowing right from you.
That is the mastery of destiny.